joining us today. Today we are going to be talking about resume writing, and our focus is really to give you some tools so that you know the best practices in today's world for resume writing, and that you also have some resources that we'll send you afterwards. Okay. So who are we? We are the Office of Business Central. We are responsible for 3 areas at the college: economic development, inspiring entrepreneurship, and career readiness. So this is part of our career readiness programming, and we are glad to talk to you about any of the other initiatives that we do in Business Central. I've had a career in marketing. I have built teams. I have done executive recruiting, executive coaching, and I have helped people to career transitions. So I am very experienced in this area of resume writing and would gladly help any of you with your resumes. Brandon?
I'm working on it. Hey everybody, my name is Brandon Aldis. I'm the coordinator of career readiness here at SUNY Adirondack. I've worked for a few different SUNY schools in different capacities. I was a residence director at SUNY Cobleskill for a couple of years. I was the coordinator of student health and wellness at SUNY Empire in Saratoga Springs. And I also worked as a customer service and sales manager for a company here in Glens Falls called sheetlabels.com. So I have some diversified experience. My undergraduate degrees are in agricultural business management, and I'm currently getting my master's in higher education administration. So I really like working with college students. I really enjoy being able to work through transitions and making sure that we're giving our students the tools they need in whatever transition they're going through. So that's why I'm here.
So today's agenda, today we're going to take you through what is a resume. Do I even need a resume? Where do I start? What do I put on my resume? And a few do's and don'ts. And again, we are here for you if you have questions as you build your resume. So
what is a resume? It's your opportunity to show how impressive you are. You guys won't believe it, but some of our pictures are actually really purposeful. They're a really good one later on in the slide, so get excited. So a resume is your opportunity to show the employer, whomever you're sending it to, just how impressive you are. It's a concise summing up of your work and any educational history. So whatever degrees you've earned or certificates, you want to make sure that those are on there. It conveys your credentials for a job and helps an employer determine your ability and potential fit. It's an effective resume stays current with your experience level and is essential in obtaining an interview. It's really an opportunity to show competency. And so what that means is, sure, there may be a bullet point in your job description, but did you actually fulfill that bullet point? And was there a lesson or a skill learned? So we're going to get through how to break all of that down, but really that sums up what a resume is. It's not to include everything you've ever done ever in your whole life. There are standards on how far back we go and what we include or leave off, and we'll get through all of that too. But it is just a concise summing up of what you're looking, what your professional experience is.
So do I even need a resume? Yes, you need a resume. I know you might have LinkedIn and it might have all of your information out there, or Indeed, you may have a profile. But essentially, this is a living, breathing document that's going to evolve with you as your career evolves. It's not a social media profile. It's something where you can brag a bit, where you can highlight your accomplishments, and you can do it in a nice, crisp, and detailed way that will impress your employer. So yes, you do need a resume. So where to begin?
We begin with College Central Network. So we talked about this a little bit in our last presentation. We decided that College Central Network is a really great way to weave all of these presentations together. College Central Network is the college's platform for connecting employers with students and allowing students to do some different career ready type things. So you can go into College Central Network and search for a job. You can do some research on a company. But the cool thing we're going to talk about today is how it actually allows you to build out your resume. It actually has a built-in resume builder along with a bunch of other free resources. So I'm going to try to click through here. if you go to College Central Network, it'll bring you to this home screen. When you scroll down, you're going to click Students. For any of our students who are currently enrolled, if this is your first time going to College Central Network, you're going to click Pre-Registered, Activate Your Account. It'll pop up, and the only piece of information you need to know to activate your account is your college email address. So whatever your Wolf mail address is, that's how you get your username, and you'll have to actually put in your email address. Everything before the @wolfmail.sunyacc.edu is your username, and then your email address will obviously be your full address. So once you activate your account and you log in, this is what you're gonna see. So last week on the call, we talked about using these search tools over here to be able to search for jobs that were relevant to you. But if you scroll down here, there's actually an opportunity. You can look through some of those job searches that you've done in the past. You can build out a portfolio, but what we're going to talk about today is your resume. So right here it says My Resumes. When you click that, you can upload a resume. What we're suggesting is that's fine, and we'll talk about some different templates and things that you can use, but be careful of what you're uploading in there. You want to make sure it's a professional resume if you're going to upload something. You don't want to just pull down whatever you have on LinkedIn or Indeed. You want to make sure that what you're putting up here is truly a professional resume. If you have questions about what that should look like, or you've never really built one before, there's actually a step-by-step guide here in College Central Network where you can sit and build out your resume in its entirety. You'll name it, you'll click Build It, and it'll walk you through the different pieces of what your resume should look like. The great thing about having it in College Central Network, whether you do upload one or build one through College Central, is that allows employers to actually search for you. At that point, you'll have a completed profile in College Central Network, and employers can actually access our platform for free, and they can look at the students who have the credentials that they're looking for, and they can reach out to you. You know, currently we were, just before all of the COVID-19 stuff, we were really encouraging students to do that because unemployment was so low. I think that coming out of this, we're going to see an opportunity for employers to be looking for candidates who really meet the needs that they're looking for. The job market's going to remain competitive, and it's going to get flooded all at once. And so when your accounts are updated and you've got a well-built out College Central Network account, or you at least have that well-built out resume, it's going to make you competitive among the rest. We've done a lot of work to push College Central Network out to employers. It's a completely free platform, and it's connecting local employers with local job seekers. It's not a global or nationwide thing. It's not even a statewide thing. It really is tied to our area. So being able to ensure that we're connecting those employers with local job seekers is really important. And so if that's an area that you're in, I highly encourage you to go through this. Up here on the side, you'll notice prior to building a resume, College Central Network has a quick guide for you. If you click this, it'll bring you to the document library, and there's some few tips and tricks there as well. If you go back to the dashboard, you'll see over here on the right-hand side, if you scroll down just a little bit, we have a career document library. All of the things that are in here are either provided by College Central Network or resources that Bonnie and I build out to be specific to SUNY Adirondack students. When you click resume resources, you'll see that there are a few different links here that'll open just PDF documents that go over some useful things to use on a resume. So those transferable skills and invisible assets, how to talk about yourself, and different keywords. So this is a great little area to just check out these resources before you even get started. And then I can't make this go away. Okay. And then I just wanted to take an opportunity really quick to show one other reason why College Central Network is so great. So as the administrator of the program, when I log in, this is the screen that I see. I get a little running dashboard of what's happening in the system. Within the system, you can see that we have 1,517 students, just to show you kind of how competitive our platform is. But we have 857 employers. And over here, it shows me the jobs that are being posted. You can see for the last year, we've had more jobs posted than the year before in our platform. So the reason I say in our platform is because College Central Network actually has the ability to pull from any non-password protected job board. So as you're searching for jobs, you can either search for jobs that are just in our system by clicking search my school's jobs. And those are jobs that have been posted by employers specifically on our platform. And Search Job Central is going to pull from all those non-password protected job boards. So as you can see, employers are really active in our platform, which is why it's so great to be in here. All right. Any questions on College Central Network before we go back?
No.
All righty. So what goes on a resume? As promised, there's another really fun picture. So you want to make sure that you include your contact information, obviously. Part of that contact information should absolutely be an active email address for yourself. As you're doing that though, let's make sure that that email address is somewhat professional. We don't want to see skaterboy88. I want to see brandon.aldis@gmail.com. So it doesn't have to be your full name, but let's make sure that those email addresses are professional. The one that I used when I was applying to this job was just my last name, my first initial, my middle initial @gmail.com. Your education is going to go on there. So anywhere where you've actually earned a degree. Once you earn a college level degree, you no longer need to include your high school degrees. It's assumed once you have a college degree that you've accomplished that high school degree. But as you earn college degrees, let's make sure that you stack those up. We want to make sure that we're showing and showcasing the education that we have. So 10 years worth of experience. Bonnie, you were supposed to present this slide, right?
No, I think we decided you were, but that's okay.
Bonnie, take it. Take it from me.
All right, so 10 years worth of work experience. You know, we put that in there because we recognize that we're speaking with students who could have less or more, but generally in the world of work now, try to keep, if you have more than 10, try to keep it to 10 years worth of work experience. Now, does that mean those other 10 years you worked are not valuable? No, it doesn't. But ultimately what you're gonna try to do is keep your resume, have a nice, concise one-page snapshot of your experience. Why one page? Because a lot of applicant tracking systems, the electronic tools that employers use where you're applying online, a lot of them are set to only accept resumes that are one page. And we don't want you getting kicked out. So don't lose those other years of experience. Keep them on a different version of your resume because you'll want them to reference to build out your talking points. And you're also going to want to make sure that you always keep the dates, because when you do an official application somewhere, you will likely have to put more of your experience on the official application. But your resume is your marketing document, so it doesn't have to have all of the years of experience. So what if you don't have 10 years of experience? Obviously, you put what you've got. You're going to put your most recent experience first, and really highlight on there the accomplishments you've had, not just a list of tasks that you've done, but what have you accomplished? What are those skills that another employer could look to use in their business? What could you make a difference doing in their business that you've already done in a previous role? So another question that comes up, what if I was fired? That happens, right? Where right now we're in the midst of massive downsizings, and it's you know, it's something that happens. And so it's very important always to be transparent on your dates. If there is a gap, you'll explain it. If you have a situation where you were fired, then step back and look at what did you learn from it. Put the dates. You don't have to put why in the resume. That's something you'll take into the interview and explain in the interview. I was downsized from a role after an acquisition, so there was a gap in my resume. I was downsized. I decided when they offered me a package to stay to not stay. That was a choice. So there's always a way to explain it. If you have any questions on that, I'm happy to take you through any of that. You're also going to want to put your awards, honors, anything you've accomplished that really is a hallmark of success. Your leadership roles, maybe on campus leadership roles, maybe in a community service perspective, you've had leadership roles. So just think about all of those things as you are crafting your resume. So where to start? We really encourage some brainstorming to start. And I cannot tell you how valuable it is to just start with a clean piece of paper, clean Word doc, however you operate, and really just do a core dump of what are your strengths? Where did you use those strengths? Really just put out there what is it that you've loved to do in a role, and where did you do that? And then you're going to search for job postings that might align with that. And then from there, you're gonna grab those keywords that talk about the role and that you are able to talk about in your resume. You're going to pop them into your resume. So now your resume is going to align with the job posting, and you're going to be able to get through those applicant tracking systems because it looks like you're a good match.
Bonnie, what is an applicant tracking system?
So the applicant tracking system, that is a system that HR departments in many companies use to essentially screen all their resumes, to track who's applied, to track who they bring in for interviews. It's a huge database, and you basically need to get through the database to be considered. I've done a lot of recruiting. I just, prior to this role, I had a job for 9 years in executive recruiting. I know the ins and outs, upside down, inside out of applicant tracking systems. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Happy to schedule a call and take you through that, because it is possible to get through them. But it's really important for you to be strategic on that. So you want to tell your story using the same language that was in the job posting, essentially. And then, when you think about your experience, you want to think about how you've made a difference. We hear every day from employers about what they're looking for. And so these are soft skills as well as technical skills. So think about what you accomplished. That's going to demonstrate your personal accountability. Think about who you helped and who did you work with in doing that. That's collaboration. What results did your team achieve? That shows that you can achieve a goal and that you're a team player. What feedback did you hear? Did somebody send you a kudos note that said thank you? Did somebody award you or write a note to your boss or your supervisor? That demonstrates your customer satisfaction skills. And these are all things that are really important for you to consider as you're building out your resume. Those are the things employers are looking for day in and day out.
The only thing I would want to add too from this brainstorming session, as well as our fun dancing banana here, which by the way, he was representing a weird job. Okay, so that was why he was on this slide. So the one thing I would add is that as you're looking for what are these transferable skills, what can it teach me? In Bonnie talking about the brainstorming and how we got, what did you accomplish? Well, that shows personal accountability. Well, then how do you talk about personal accountability? How do you show those bullet points? I would encourage you to check back in with that career document library and College Central network. These keywords to success, these transferable skills, me, myself, and the brand. Those documents, if you just glance at them really quickly, are going to give you some of those words and give you some of those tie-ins. They're going to teach you how to talk about yourself and represent that on paper. So definitely use these resources that are in front of you and are free, because those are going to help set you above the rest. I know for me, I get really stuck on using the same word again and again in a few of my bullet points, especially in different jobs. Collaborate shows up a lot, and being able to find what some of the different words that you could use that are still getting across the same points, these documents can help you with that. So I would just encourage you guys, as you're getting ready to work on that resume and as you're looking through those, to take a glance at these two. All right, so we threw a lot of information at you all at once, and we recognize that. So just know that, again, the session is being recorded, so you can watch this again later. We're going to share our PowerPoint with you all after, as well as a one-page doc of just some tips and tricks. But we did put together this quick do and don't list. So as you're sitting down, there's just a quick little guide here for you. So do definitely use College Central Network to find jobs. It's a great tool to be able to go in and find exactly what you're looking for, put it in the degree that you've earned, put it in your geographic location that you want to work within. And again, it'll pull all those jobs into one site for you. Don't upload an Indeed or LinkedIn profile as a resume. Sometimes they come through a little glitchy. They're not as perfect as what we would want to see a resume be. They're going to be a little bit more blocky and quite frankly, a little bit more social media-y. So make sure that you take the time to sit down and actually build a resume. Do research a company and the open positions on their website. So when we are looking to hire someone, obviously it's our job to showcase the company and to sell it a little bit. Do your own research, look into what that company is doing. Make sure that it's a company you would want to work for. And then make sure that you find that job posting on their own website. It's going to be a little bit telling about what the company is doing. And you'll also make sure that you have a completed application. So for us at SUNY Adirondack, we require a cover letter, a resume, and 3 professional references when you apply for a job here. If you don't submit all of those, your application is incomplete. So don't apply for a job through sites like Indeed unless there's no other way to apply. Why? Because a lot of times you just click apply and it's very generic. It's very sterile when you do that. And as an employer, they can tell when you just click that apply button that you're just doing a thumb scroll and, oh, this one sounds kind of cool, apply. Actually take the time to go back to the website, pull some of their language, use their own language in your documents, and apply through their website. That way you're hitting their platforms, and that way you can, again, ensure that you are submitting a completed application. Use keywords in your resume. That's what we were just talking about, making sure that you're using their words from their job description, from their company lingo in your resume. Don't use buzzwords or jargon. Bonnie, what does that mean?
So if you start using buzzwords or jargon and you're in an interview and somebody says, so tell me, how did you synergistically apply this tool to result in these, KPIs? And you can't answer that question. You clearly didn't understand synergistically or what the KPIs were. It's really easy to look at Harvard Business Review articles and pick up jargon or other industry articles and pick up jargon. Just boil it down to what was it you did? What was the difference that you made? As a recruiter, I will tell you, I caught so many people when I'd interview them, I would ask a question about their resume and they'd actually say to me, what bullet are you looking at? Well, that clearly shows that you really weren't in touch with how your resume best represents you for the job we're discussing. So really take the time to do the research and then tailor your resume to the job using plain language.
Absolutely. Thank you. Use action words that describe what you accomplish, not just the tasks that you completed. Don't apply with a Microsoft Word doc or a Canva doc or a Google Doc, etc. You want to make sure that when you're finally happy with your resume, you have the perfect final copy of it. You want to download that as a PDF and submit it as a PDF. Everyone can open a PDF. You're not going to get stuck in whatever process or whatever software that they're using. When you submit as a PDF, it's going to go through exactly the way that you formatted it and look the way you want it to look. So making sure that you're submitting a PDF document when you're actually applying somewhere. Do customize your resume based on the role and industry. So what we want to talk about there is just making sure that your resume is reflective of the role or the industry that you're actually applying to. If you're a graphic designer and you're applying for a graphic design job, it's okay to have a little bit flashier resume than maybe applying to something just in business or accounting or something like that. So it's okay to add a little bit of your own flair, show a little bit of your skill set when making that resume, but don't get crazy with the design elements. Sometimes including those blocks of different colors can be really off-putting. They can be really distracting. And never put your picture on a resume. If you were to go into Microsoft Word and look in Microsoft Word for their resume templates, a few of them have a spot you would upload your picture, but don't do that. That's weird. I don't want to see your picture on your resume. And quite frankly, it can open up some discrimination type conversations, and we just don't want that to be happening. So don't bother putting your picture on there, and don't get crazy with the design. Anything to add on that one, Bonnie?
Yeah, so if you are a graphic designer, you're probably going to want to have two resumes. You're going to want to have a resume that can get you through the applicant tracking systems. So you're going to have no graphic design elements within it. It's going to be a document that looks very much like a business document. And then you're going to have one that shows your personality and flair, because ultimately you want to get through any applicant tracking system with a resume that's going to come through cleanly. And if an applicant tracking system can't read a graphic element, you might get kicked out. So that's when I would definitely recommend having two documents, one that is more business document without those design elements, and then one that might look more branded if you are a designer or are in one of the creative fields like that. And that's the one you're going to bring and to your interview, and use that to showcase your design skills. This final point here on proofreading, I have had my own issues with proofreading. I sent a resume once to someone with a mistake in it, and he called me up and said, I'm going to give you a lesson right now, and the lesson is to proofread. I'd like you to send me your resume again without the mistake. And I never forgot that. And it was a huge lesson in grace, because I actually did end up getting an interview, but that was a huge gift. So proofread, proofread, proofread. Any questions on any of this?
No, no questions.
So we've taken you through a lot on how to write a resume, how to get a draft going. Definitely encourage you to do some brainstorming and do that core dump of all your strengths and great accomplishments. And give us a call. We would be happy to look at a draft in any form and help you if you get stuck, or if you have questions on how to apply for certain roles or types of keywords to look for certain roles. Happy to take you through any of that. So please, please, please give us a call.
So again, just another opportunity to ask any questions if anyone has one. And then also feel free to reach out and let us know what topics you guys want to continue to see happening in these sessions. It appears that we'll probably be working from home for a little bit longer, so we have some time to continue planning and continue doing these. I think the next thing that we'll do is maybe not limit ourselves to a half an hour, because I think Bonnie and I are both like trying to get through this, and it's a lot to take in all at once. So we did hear Lori was on our last call, and Lori suggested doing a session specifically on transitioning careers. So we're going to make sure that one of ours is on that. Bonnie's already planning one on LinkedIn, and our program next week is on interviewing. So, you know, with everyone shifting to online, it appears that there's going to be a lot more opportunities to be interviewing online. So whether it be through Zoom or Skype or whatever platform, most employers are probably going to start doing at least their first rounds this way. So we want to make sure we give everyone the tips and tricks they need to be successful there. As always, you can reach out to schedule a one-on-one. Even though we're working remotely, Bonnie and I are still incredibly available during the typical workday, and we're also flexing our hours a bit to try to accommodate those students who just wouldn't be able to meet during the day. So if we can help you with anything, if you want to go over your cover letter and resume before you click submit, please feel free to reach out to us. We can do all of that virtually in more or less the same exact way we're sharing this presentation with you. So please feel free to reach out and schedule a one-on-one. And follow us for a super fun time on social media. If you're following either of our accounts, you'll see my cute little guy kicking me in the face during a Zoom call this morning. So feel free to follow us on social media, stay connected, and let us know what else we can do for you. Any questions, comments, concerns, or emotional outbursts?
Thank you very much, Bonnie and Brandon. I loved all the information and I look forward to tuning in for the LinkedIn